It's me, Vera, here to remind you that this is an adult podcast. That means we're going to deal with tough topics. Take a break if you need it, and be kind to yourself, because we sure won't be.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Crack Crown Season 2 of Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition podcast. As always, I am your storyteller, Mike Martin, today joined by every player, which hasn't happened in forever. Dot, Bub, Josh, Mark, and Jason. Hello, everybody.
Yo!
Hi, it's so good to be back.
Yeah. Not only has the whole crew not played together in a while, just in terms of the past few sessions, but then also there's been a break for all of us in the kind of the middle of it all before the final 2 episodes of the season. So it's good to be back. I'm itching to get back into it.
I'm excited. I can't wait. We're going to do so many horrible, awful things.
So many horrible, awful things. That's always how it goes with you, Josh. Actually, you have been the most chaotic player I've ever DM'd for in my entire life.
Oh,
So, thank you for that. Just like you're
Thank you.
chaos.
so sweet.
Yeah. It's super sweet. All right. Is there anything at the top we need to announce or cover? Obviously, a big thank you to everybody who listens. If you're listening on whatever app you're listening to, please drop us a review, rate us 5 stars. That goes a long way for us. If you want to support us, head over to patreon.com/podbynight, where you can support us in all the things that we do as we get the gears and the engine up and roaring again for December, January, and February here as we move forward. But is there any it's been a while. Is there
Don't be so
anything...
presumptuous. Don't tell them to give us 5 stars. What if they want to give us 4 stars?
We're
Let them
worth 5.
still post it,
If my
regardless.
12 years in working in a restaurant means anything, 4 stars is as good as a 1 star. Only 5 stars count or you're in trouble. All right.
That is
You heard it
annoying.
here first, everybody.
That's how it works.
A lot of stuff happening. In fact, I think it's just better for me to say right now that we're in a really interesting and exciting transitional phase for Pod by Night. You've probably seen a little less of us, but there's not less going on behind the scenes. We are revamping the community game. It's taking longer, I
Hey.
think, than we planned, but we are revamping it so that hopefully it will run long-term a lot smoother. So yeah, we're growing. So be there with us.
You're doing, and I mean, it's Pod by Night adjacent. Fallout games going.
In fact, I was just telling everybody behind the scenes that I think we really hit our stride this past Saturday. Like that moment in the story where we really care about our characters kind of happened. It was really dope. So yeah, we'll see. Come check it out. It is up on YouTube. It's ready to go. So yeah, get your eyes over there. If they can handle the glow,
Glow must flow.
let's flow. Speaking of, you can get merch over on our TeePublic store, including the Glow Must Flow t-shirt.
Yeah. All right. I'm ready to dive in if you're all are ready.
Yes.
I couldn't be more ready. Oh boy.
All right. Then without further ado, let's set the scene, rein things in, and see what our coterie has been up to. And as our scene comes in the background sounds of a muffled conversation of many a different individual within a giant hotel is what greets our ears first. And the reason it's muffled is clear. As our vision comes to, we are where we tend to be, in the lower bottom of the hotel, a private room where Vera keeps to herself, where she only ventured out recently, heading to Gary to find what had happened to Duke. Only an emergency like Duke missing could bring Vera out of hiding. But now that they have returned, and as we pick up, you have all returned simply the night before. As our new night begins, can everybody please make me a rouse check?
Oh, I succeed.
Wow, holy, I just saw a lot of failure is all I saw. Everybody but Sean failed their rouse check. Incredible. And everybody's at hunger 3 or 2.
Yep.
Fantastic. Well, as you are all in the hotel itself, you are all provided with food in the morning in the form of blood bags, or in the case of Vera, a delivered glass. So if you all would like to feed down 1 dot of hunger, you are welcome to do so for free here at the very beginning.
Love that for us.
Why would I say no to that?
Well, exactly. Out of curiosity, Max, where do you stay in the hotel? Do you have a hotel room to yourself that you kind of like invisibly go to at the end of every night, or do you stay downstairs like with Vera? It's something I didn't think about, and I don't know why I haven't thought about it till now, but where does Max stay?
I think we're pretty sure that Max has a suite with Adelaide and
Yeah, Adelaide
Max
has a
Jr.
suite. Do you stay in the same room?
Yeah,
as,
adjoining,
okay.
probably.
So before we actually pick up in the basement, we're actually going to pick up inside that hotel room as the two of you, Adelaide and Max, kind of rouse for the evening. Only a few minutes pass, probably as you're reaching into the mini fridge to pull out a bagged blood to sate that hunger. There is a gentle knock at the door.
Yeah, who is it?
Is this the room of Mr. All I have is Maxwell?
Yeah, just Max will do fine.
Delivery.
Max will open the door. These are, just want to make sure, this would obviously be employees that I don't need to worry about.
You peer out like the
obfuscating in front.
peephole, and you do see the crisp uniform on this young gentleman, probably in his late teens, early 20s. And he's simply holding a kind of plain cardboard looks like a plain box wrapped in the brown paper.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, kid. Sorry, got no change on me right now.
He looks confused at that, then simply walks away, says, yeah, that's fine. No need for a tip.
Here's a tip. Don't take any wooden nickels. I love that one.
He looks completely confused, and after a brief few moments, walks away, shaking his head, and you hear him under his breath, because you are kindred. Your hearing is slightly better than the norm. You just hear, wooden nickel, what the fuck? What does he mean, wooden nickel? And he walks away.
As Max closes the door, he just mutters to himself,
Christ, everybody's a critic.
and tears open
Adelaide,
the box.
And as you open the box, you note that the name, there's no address. It just simply says to Maxwell. And as you open the box, and you can hear a little jingling around, as you pop it as a plain cardboard box, and as you pop it open, sitting in there, something that you ordered not too long ago, brass knuckles, or should I say, silver knuckles.
Now, do they have bad dog written on them backwards?
BADDOGG.
Okay, good. All right. Like I ordered. Great. Here's hoping I don't
As you
leave
slip them on, you just hear Adelaide just look at you, and she goes, "Oh, that's awful."
Yeah, well, here's hoping I don't have to use these. If I'm close enough to be able to, it might be game fucking over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, they're ugly. They look awful. Those things are ugly.
Like I said, everybody's a fucking critic.
She just giggles a little bit. She's like, just don't, it's not the 90s.
Yeah, I get it. Still, I think it's funny.
She smiles a bit.
How are you doing, kid?
She genuinely looks good. Her attitude or her mood, ever since coming to the hotel, has drastically improved. Finding a place that's just been able to be stable, comfortable, everything she needs taken care of and safe. She's loved it. She's not really left the hotel at all. She's wandered it for the most part, but hasn't really had any desire to really leave. She just walks around invisibly, or using her ability where she can kind of just look like a plain Jane, just to mingle.
Hey, your training's coming along pretty good. You can move around now when you're, all cloaked up.
Yeah, everything you taught me about, it's less, I was concentrating too hard on it, letting the blood do what it's supposed to do. I don't know. There's something about just giving into instinct that helped.
Yeah.
It's still hard. I can't do it all the time, but it's enough where I can get out there every once in a while and just kind of be around people again.
That's good. You ain't hungry, are you?
Well, when I do, she looks over to the mini fridge. There's just always food here.
Yeah. I ain't had enough, though. I'm going to ring for more.
Max is basically having a deep aversion to ever getting hungry.
Absolutely.
He just orders more room service, fills up the blood. He's going to try to get down to his standard one hunger.
Yeah, down to one, which you're able to do so. If anybody else is, in the need, you could easily do so as well. Order more. Vera, you're no longer healing aggravated damage. You're no longer having to worry about hunger frenzying. That was like the past couple of sessions.
Just trying to stay out of sight.
Yeah, exactly. So you feed, and Adelaide just kind of tells you about some of the favorite people she's seen. She remembers this one kid who was just running up and down the halls and scaring and pissing off an entire floor. And all she did was whisper boo while she was invisible. And the kid ran scared, claiming that there was a ghost. And, she just talks like the shit she's been doing around the hotel.
Yeah, it's good.
And as that conversation kind of goes, our camera will kind of begin to pull out. So you slide under the door and then begin to plummet into the basement where Vera stands. As you get yourself ready, blood is brought to you and left on the table wordlessly. I imagine, it might even be there waiting for you when you rouse.
I was about to say, Duke was leaving it, so nobody had to come in here and see me.
So it's already left. And after a few moments of being up, I imagine Duke is one of the first ones that heads down. Is there anything anyone else would like to do prior to heading down to the basement to meet with Vera, where a certain conversation is about to be?
Yes, Sean has to heal aggravated damage.
That's right. Yes, you do. Fuck, I completely forgot. Thank you for being honest.
Well,
How many aggravated do you have right now?
2. I guess I can only just do the 3.
Yeah.
That put me to 4.
Has
Boy.
Sean, have you had to resist a hunger frenzy yet, Sean?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Several
Because
times.
he killed a guy the last time.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God, that's
yeah,
right.
I did. He's just going to chill.
Yeah. You're at 4. It's not like you're not like still in control of yourself. I imagine you gonna hold off on eating until you're around your coterie, or do you want to eat on your own? You can also make a phone call, if you remember correct, that they'll have people come in and prepare to deal with you if necessary.
I think he's going to wait until after he talks to his coterie.
So we'll hold off. You're gonna head down to the basement.
Yeah.
Duke or Robert, anything else? Anything you two want to do before you head down to the basement and meet with Vera, or no?
No, I'm ready.
Nothing
Okay, cool.
really.
So then, as we kind of linger on Vera, first we would probably, like I said, see Duke, the first one to arrive, as he's the one that provides the blood for Vera in the first place. And as he makes his way down the stairs, seeing Vera rouse for the evening and imbibing your blood. Do you want to go down to 1, Vera? Do you want like enough?
I'll go ahead. I'll drink as much as they'll bring me without being seen.
2 dots is about what I'll allow.
2 glasses worth, yeah.
As you arrive in the basement, Duke, Mia is tagging along right behind you, as she has been meeting with Vera a lot more often as the past week or so. Unless the two of you would like to converse, slowly one by one, each of the coterie will arrive. Robert is probably next. He's always a timely gentleman, followed by, it would end up being, I imagine, Sean, because Max is waiting for another delivery of blood before he heads downstairs.
Always be early. If you're on time, you're already late.
Those old world views that linger forever and annoy everybody else.
Actually, the one who came up with that, and I don't get credit for it.
As Robert says that, Max walks in, still sucking the last from a blood bag, and just says,
Yeah, well, a wizard is never late, etc., etc.
Is Max Jr. with you, or do you leave Max Jr. with Adelaide?
Max Jr. is actually perched on his shoulder, and he tosses the blood bag over the other shoulder.
And Max Jr. bats at it as it goes over just a little bit.
Okay, folks, what's the rumpus?
And now you see those who weren't here before. Duke went off to Gary to look for the visionary and never returned. Vera and a few others went out to go get him, and when they arrived, they were able to, retrieve Duke. And I don't want to spoil it because I imagine it'll be part of the conversation as to what happened there. But that's, seeing Duke is probably a relief for those who knew he was at least missing.
Hey, see you're in one piece.
I am, yes. At least for now. To be determined what the evening and the following evenings look like.
Yeah, ain't that true for all of us? So, what is the rumpus, as they say? Well, as I say, anyway.
I think you see Vera, she's packing boxes. Like one would be moving, but it's all of her clothing, all of her stuff, like all of physical clothing, shoes, leotards, all this stuff. She's packing it. And she says nothing, but she's just packing while you have this conversation.
You planning a vacation there, Vera?
Well, I am dead, Max.
True enough. You're gonna need some more suitcases, dead or no.
For now, we must make a scene of getting rid of my things.
Yeah, I guess it's a good excuse to buy a whole new wardrobe, huh?
Precisely. Duke, you were saying?
Gary's a mess. To no surprise, it's a mess with the kindred threat, if you would refer to it as that. It's very limited, and the Lupine go uncontested. I went back to the bank where our subjects were held, and Garrett wasn't there. There was definitely an ashened, destroyed kindred, and the visionary was taken. I was captured, almost to be anticipated as such, and I had a brief conversation. I was able to talk my way out of it. Probably not the first time, definitely not the last.
So, do we reckon that pile of ashes was our old buddy Garrett, or was it that other lady?
Yes, her sister.
I don't believe it was Garrett. He still walks this earth, according to the Lupine. He's out there somewhere.
But you'd be happy about that, Robert.
We'll make a survivor of him yet.
Just the wry smile that crawls across Robert's face.
I mean, I don't know. I get a pleasure, honestly, of tormenting Garrett, but deep down, I know he's just a piece of trash.
As much as I have to maybe grieve with Robert, I'm trying to figure out why any of this is our business.
Well, it was my intention to retrieve the visionary. It was to increase our standard of position in Chicago. I understand that our position is very delicate, as is, especially with one of our fallen coterie, Miss Vera Volkov. has since, according to the general public, has been deceased.
Don't believe everything you hear.
This is my own pursuit, of course. If nobody wants to venture into this, I completely understand. I'm fulfilling a personal vested interest.
Just to make sure I understand, you're going to go back to Gary?
For what it's worth, Mia chimes in. I told him it was a dumb idea.
Thank you, Mia.
I got to agree with Mia over here. I mean, maybe we should just cut our losses, huh?
I mean, it's a dumb idea, but I've already fought a werewolf like 3 times now, so I'm down.
And so, because you've done it once, say do it again.
Look, we got
Yeah.
very lucky every time we faced lupines in the last little while, but luck doesn't always hold. I don't think we should be too eager to go in guns blazing.
Look, if you want to hunt lupine, go join a club. Go join a hunter's club and keep us out of the way, because it is a consistent gamble, which at some point, like Max said, you will lose.
I understand. I recognize that the challenge before us is, well, it's oftentimes ruinous. However, the sister was destroyed, and Garrett still lurks. Yet they have the visionary. She's alive, in their control. Does anyone not find that odd, that a group of lupine are keeping a kindred alive?
Oh, don't we love a MacGuffin? Okay, so we need her?
Well, need is not quite the apt word. It's a matter of want at this point.
Collected enough rogue kindred already, why not another?
Oh, what am I running, an orphanage?
Yes. I saw Mia bleed for her. Might as
There's
well
a
collect.
definition in clarity, and she provides either incentive for our position, our standing in Chicago, which may not be of anyone else's pursuit, of course, could be my own. But if she has a hint at a future vision, something that we could utilize.
I see. The gamble is just as good if we win, right?
There's also the curiosity that I have. I'm curious how she would react to the hotel. Mia kind of just meekly squeaks out.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so now
We
we're
could
talking
also
just
perform a ritual.
hypotheses, science, magic.
Yeah, science, exactly.
Well, let's talk
there's
about the reality of the situation. What makes you think the lupine will come through on a deal with you? What if it's a trap?
Then Mia you kind of snap Mia back into reality. Right. You have to deal with the fucking lupine. Dumb idea.
Priorities.
Okay, so far I'm hearing me and Vera against, Duke and Sean for. What about you, Robert? What do you reckon?
I feel like I need more information to reckon anything, but I'll go with the. I could be the deciding vote, honestly.
How are you going to do this, Duke?
They agreed to meet with me.
Who agreed? The lupine from the bank.
Yes.
Oh, okay. He's looked trustworthy.
You know, in my experience, lupine in general, not to be trusted. Perhaps we could set up some sort of perimeter or something to make sure that you're safe.
Would be a safe assumption.
I'm not to try to get into the weeds here too much, but you know, an invisible Max is a
You're right,
formidable
Robert.
foe.
Yeah, I am, but I'm a pretty formidable foe when I am actually invisible. I don't know how good that's going to be against lupines. I generally avoid tangling with them, but there's some of our kind that could sense me. Makes sense that there'd be some of their kind that could sense me. I'm just not a foolproof solution, just is what I'm saying.
What are they getting in return for this deal?
We will be claiming the visionary, the woman, and in turn, my offer is to lean into the ruse that we will be abandoning Camarilla control of Gary and leave this particularly to Jackson's further exploits. If he wishes to claim it, it will be on his shoulders, his endeavoring.
Isn't that what we've already done?
Yes, but the lupine don't know that.
I see. So words for a person seems thin.
Well, the ruse was already quite strong the moment that you walked into the door. I told them that I was the more or less greeting committee, and that if I were to not return, well, it would bring an onslaught of more kindred, and lo and behold, the cavalry arrived. With you showing up at the door, it was fortuitous, and they immediately saw that I was not all talk.
Trap line.
If they find a bunch of kindred in Gary after we leave, which they will, what's to say they don't turn up at our door asking for the visionary or our heads?
They must be aware that there are multiple factions that operate. Camarilla at large is not the same as Anarchs or those that are operating even outside of those bounds of Tarkus, self-representing.
I mean, do they have a full understanding of the nuances? I'm doubtful.
Well, it depends. Some of them, if they're older ones, do. The younger ones, I don't really know.
You're
Yeah.
willing to risk your life to rescue this visionary, Duke.
I'm willing to gamble on a puzzle.
It's not a puzzle. Gambling is not a puzzle.
It's against my better judgment, Duke, but if you need me to back your play, I will.
Well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and I'm not here to rock the boat. If you don't see the value in it, I will do my best to ignore.
I just can't go with you.
I understand.
Fair enough.
I could probably provide something to allow you be invisible in a similar style to Max if you wanted to leave the city.
We risk everything. What if we get injured? What if I actually die? When do you have to do it?
Soon. Probably within the next night or so.
What do you reckon, Vera? Your call.
I reckon she's trouble. I reckon that the moment we laid eyes on her. But I also know, I don't even have to reckon, that when Duke gets his mind set on something, he's going to do it regardless of what we have to say.
The gamble isn't in the collection of her. The gamble is what happens to her when she is here, inside of this place.
If they took her, what makes you think they're going to give her up so easily?
Under the promise that there won't be an onslaught of Camarilla kindred running through their lines of control, their domain.
I mean, she says weird, scary stuff.
And
Maybe
we
we can.
can't speak for all kindred. The Anarch are there. They already had an installation long before we arrived. And more importantly, it's such a disastrous event that poor man, Garrett, had to go and start a war by awakening all of the Lupine. Such a sad day, really, truly. But now he's all on the run.
That's the play. We give them Garrett.
I'm sorry. We're going to go get... Why would they want Garrett? We
don't have
want
Garrett.
Yeah, we don't want Garrett.
Oh,
Nobody wants
no one
Garrett.
wants Garrett.
Somewhere Garrett starts crying for no reason.
There is also a long play. The long play is that my skills and utility will still be useful to them.
Do the Lupine.
To the Lupine, yes.
Oh my God, that sounds so dangerous.
Yeah, they're going to ask you to do some dumb stuff.
You know that breaks every aspect of the masquerade, right? Just in all the ways, just all breaking it, Duke.
I would like to bring up in conversation, part of this retinue here, we have an individual who claims to be Sean, yet is haunted by the aspects and the visions of someone that operated completely against the Camarilla, and he is controlling the element of fire.
Oh, so we're
Yeah.
just going to talk about it openly now?
I beg
Well,
your
We all
fucking
the
know
elephant,
pardon,
it's not
Duke,
really a
but
secret.
The elephant in the room is we're doing our best to cover our own asses. And this will come back to us. Gary has not left our past. Maxwell still resides there.
We can neither confirm nor deny that. Maybe he was one of the many casualties.
If Garrett survived, don't you think the former prince of Chicago survived?
God damn it.
Garrett survived because we locked him in a vault. I see your reasoning. I just question whether it's sound in the time at which we're desperately trying to...
And please, I do not want to besmirch your name, Sean. I do not believe that that is the point. I think you missed my compliment. You command an element that is greater than kindred at whole.
And I'm pretty 80% sure he's actually Sean.
Thanks. Why is everyone picking on me? I'm on your side, man.
I'm
Sorry,
picking
yeah.
on you. It's just the reality of the situation that you're in.
Whatever.
She just stays quiet and just was staring at Sean. Sean, are you showing any visible signs of how hungry you are?
Yeah, he's basically tweaking.
So it's obvious then. It's obvious to the coterie that Sean's a little twitchy, he's a little argumentative now, and it's what that
Sean,
means.
stop scratching. You're driving me
some-
insane.
Someone get this kid a sandwich here.
My gamble is what happens when we get the visionary back here to the hotel. The space between the walls, when we spoke to the proprietor, we all know that it operates differently in that space, in that time.
So why would we want to bring the detonator to the bomb?
Because if we can separate and parse out her visions slowly, then we can potentially gain control.
All right, like I said, you convinced me. I'm gonna go put on some pants.
And Max just walks out in his bathrobe. Yeah.
Mia clears
Ew.
her throat. It's also the opportunity to ritually bind her to this place, both metaphorically.
I have some feelings about keeping people hostage in buildings. I've been there and done that once in my long life. I'll pass on putting it upon others. That being said, if we're going to rescue her, we need to actually rescue her and give her a choice. I'm not interested in keeping a kindred as an object.
Yeah, I kind of made a promise to her sister that she'd be okay, so
Well, her sister
think-
is Ash, from what Duke says.
Okay, but have you never kept a promise to a dead person?
Absolutely not. Who's holding me accountable?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, what's the point? And Mia chimes like it takes the side of Vera.
As honorable as that is, Sean. No. Once you're dead, you are dead. Speaking of, see this box here is full. I'd like you to take it out back to the dumpster, or maybe, I don't know, donate it somewhere that would want leather suit.
Oh, a glass of blood, which was called for Sean, is brought in.
Which goes to a larger conversation, and a point at which I think Duke has made exceptionally clear. If we are going to shed blood, sweat, and tears for the Camarilla, they are going to do the same for us. If we're going to play within the rules, and they will also benefit us, of which has not been the case for, I don't know, the last 80 years of my life.
Mia just nods. Everybody's kind of tensely quiet at that.
If anybody disagrees, I'd love to hear your argument. Tell me you haven't been used.
Mia absolutely says nothing.
And when, in all that time, has the masquerade actually benefited you? See, I have a very simple ask. Simple ask. Mia, you don't count. We benefited you. I have a very small ask of Prince Jackson. A bloodhound of those who attempted to take the life of my coterie is only right by masquerade law.
Bloodhunt's a big ask.
Do you disagree, Mia?
I don't disagree that it should be done, but getting one called, I think I've seen that maybe once.
We're not just getting one called. We're going to get one called outside of Elysium, in front of everybody. After I return, of course. But that's small beans in the grand scheme of things. Because my goal is just to remind all of the powers in Chicago that we are here. So, Duke, I can't have our bomb go off before I resurrect.
Well, no, actually, this is OOC because I wanted to ask you, Mike, from me being in Chicago for so long, does Jackson owe me any favors from long time past?
You could absolutely call in a favor from Jackson. You specifically asking to see if you can call in a favor for a blood hunt.
Yes, I would help Vera in this.
You would certainly make that negotiation a lot easier if you are on Vera's side during that conversation. Because you've been in Chicago since the 1800s, you've known Jackson since his rise. While he may not owe you a favor the size of a blood hunt, you being on Vera's side will still be an enormous benefit to Vera for that conversation.
I have a feeling this is going to need to be a bit of a social endeavor for the majority of us. And regardless if we succeed or fail, we still win. Because if he doesn't give us what we want, I prove my point and seed discontent amongst all the followers of the Camarilla. Little idea, big fallout.
Well, let's hope that we get what we want. I don't know.
Sean, it's funny, I never get what I want. I've stopped fearing that idea, but I can tell you everybody gets what they deserve, and Jackson has it coming.
Well, I read in some book that you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate.
Also an option, if he chooses negotiation.
Max walks in, doing up his zipper. I heard you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you just might find, etc. Are we going or what?
Yes, I have a feeling that in the end Duke is right. There is opportunity in breaking apart this hotel for all its secrets. That is one thing that Jackson does not have hold of, that nobody in this city does. And if it's true this visionary could help us with those endeavors, that is worth its weight in more than gold.
Speaking of gold, check out these silver knuckle dusters I got.
Oh!
He reaches into his pocket and pulls his hands back out, and they're just on his hands.
Very subtle,
Wow.
Max, very subtle.
Bad
That's
dog.
gaudy. You want to bling him out with diamonds as well?
Do you want to drink and get this hunger frenzy roll out of the way?
Yeah, I'm gonna disgustedly sip on this cup. No modifiers. I get 2 successes.
Yeah, 2 succeeds for the side of blood. So you drink just 1 point, you're going to be down to 3 hunger. Max comes down, ready to go. Who is going?
I think we should all go.
Yeah, we
Don't
can
die.
we can cloak Vera up. Is that right?
Yeah, I got a tarp out back.
Can we make me not look like me? Because
I'm supposed to be dead even to Lupine.
I can do your makeup.
Oh, I hate you, Sean.
Yeah! I can do your makeup.
Oh, yeah. Mia looks over and she's like, wait a minute. We have somebody like that here.
I don't know, after what I witnessed you do to my body to remove the black ichor of doom, that I want you messing with my moneymaker.
I wouldn't touch your butt.
It's not what I'm talking about, Sean.
I mean, it's recognizable, so you're going to have to alter that.
Mia looks uncomfortable. She knows she'd be dead if she said any of that.
I will wear a mask. Ski mask should do fine, I guess.
All right.
I'm sorry, Sean. I don't choose chaos at every turn. Who knows? The next funeral we celebrate might be yours.
It's Garrett's.
We need him as a patsy. He is our fall guy.
Do you have a plan on what you plan on doing? Obviously, Duke is going to be the one walking up, to meet with this individual. What about the rest of you? What is the plan?
Well, Duke, this is your plan. Where do you want me?
Well, they're going to smell you. They're going to notice that you're there, regardless if you're invisible or not, but it's mostly for the masquerade intensity.
Yeah. I mean, the last time I snuck up on one, would put a shotgun to the back of its head. Didn't seem to know I was there, but I'm going to take your word for it. So where do you want me then?
I'd like for you to be wherever you're most comfortable. Be close, but not too close.
Gotcha. How close is too close? I'm going to need some parameters here.
Stick within 50 feet.
Okay.
I can cover the exit. I've got everything prepped from last time we were about to fight a werewolf, so fire at the ready.
I don't want to fight. The fighting is not the goal here.
No,
Right.
if a fight starts, we're pretty much cooked, I think, so.
Just in case.
Everybody's going to be pretty much visible.
I could keep cover. I tend to make everybody a little nervous first time meeting me. Or I could waltz in and introduce myself.
There is no place that is immediately perfect. We're just going to have to move very carefully.
Front door it is. I will be on your left, Duke.
Very well.
How many of those dragon breath rounds does Max have left?
Probably, I would say maybe 2.
Okay.
Right, 2, so we don't forget, because...
All right. He's putting in an order for those, too.
Yeah. That'll take a little longer to get.
Of course.
And you, Amazon Prime? Just kidding.
Zim.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Can they get his shotgun rounds for sponsorship? Okay, so with that then, other than Mia, who is going to be staying put, you all head into the vehicle and begin making your way out toward Gary. A decent drive later, our camera fades out and fades in when we are about a block or 2 blocks away from the bank. You can see it in the distance as you're rolling up to it. And do you want to park right in front of the bank? Are you parking a decent distance away?
I think probably that 2 block out perimeter.
2 block out, no problem.
And I'm not going to run. I'm not going to hide. I'm just going to walk.
Be on Duke's left.
And Max will tail him on his right, I guess.
Max, go ahead and make me a rouse check, Max, for your moving and visibility power. Max is going to be leading the walk. On left is going to be Vera. Robert, are you going to be on the right? Are you going to be joining them?
I'll be behind them with my pistol close at hand.
Right within reach. Absolutely. Sean?
I'm going to cover the exit. I'll stand by the door inside and keep
Okay.
an eye.
The group of you are all going to head up that way then.
Yeah, and success on the rouse check.
Fantastic. As you approach the stairs, an individual is just up there smoking and kind of pacing back and forth, looking through their cell phone. But as soon as you make your way to around the stairs, they notice, they pocket it. It's a younger girl, maybe somewhere in her mid-20s, with shoulder-length brown hair and deep brown eyes. And as she looks over to you, she goes, holy shit, you wasn't fucking kidding. Hey. And she makes a motion as she kind of does a jog down the stairs in not in a aggressive manner, but very light and playful as she walks down to Duke. And he brought friends. Holy fuck. You little worm shits actually showed up. I didn't think you were gonna. And then as she's about to continue, I imagine you're continuing to walk, ignoring her as best you can. The gentleman that you did deal with actually walks out the front door and he goes, yeah, I told you he was going to show up. He seemed like somebody who wasn't going to just kind of bounce. Didn't know you're going to be bringing so many fucking people, but...
Didn't realize it would be an issue.
He shrugs. He goes, I didn't say it was an issue. Just said I wouldn't realize you were bringing so many. Spins on the ball of his foot, and he goes, come on, inside. And he walks into the double front doors of the bank. The girl does not walk in. She stays out.
Did either of them look in Max's direction when they said how many people there?
You can give me a wits awareness, Max.
I also would like to just
With 4?
observe the surroundings, especially from my position in the rear.
Yeah, you want to like get like a layout of like how many people are here? What are you looking for, Robert?
How many people are here? If there are hidden people.
Give me a wits investigation check. Max, while he was speaking, you're not sure if it was because he noticed you or not, but there was a point where his eyes flicked into your direction and seemingly looked at you, but it was for only a moment, but with 4 successes, you caught it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
For Robert, the 2 of them obviously are there, but you actually see, not really hidden, but all that well, but around the corner of the block, there is a vehicle with that's parked up on the side that's running, and there's an individual that's sitting in the driver's seat looking through their cell phone. And they've been lingering there since you've arrived, and they continue to do so as you kind of scope the place out. What that means to you, I don't want to put any thoughts in your head, but it's something that absolutely sticks out to Robert.
Getaway car. Interesting.
How close am I to Vera?
How close do you want to be to Vera? They're going into the bank.
Okay.
So if you're following them inside.
Yeah, basically, as I go by Vera, I'll just whisper in her ear, yeah, pretty sure they made me.
Are you staying outside the bank? Or are you going in?
Max is he's actually going to accompany them in, but like wait for everybody to go in and then slip in after them.
You can give me a dexterity stealth check if you want to slip in as the doors kind of slide and shut. Duke, Sean, Vera, anything you guys want to do? You quietly just kind of following Duke's lead.
I'm going to leave it to them on the inside, actually. If this girl's hanging around outside, Sean's going to stay by the door, keep a distance from her, but just like hang around.
Outside the door, though?
Yeah, outside the door with her. Just like, and make annoying conversation, I am assuming.
You know, perspective is everything. And all of this planning Vera's done could be so fudged in this one moment by a sheer act of fate. So she's going to fight fate with a premonition.
Okay, you want to induce a premonition?
I want to premonition forward to see how things turn out.
Now who's the wizard?
Yeah, right.
You just gotta give me a rouse check. Good, you don't get any hungry.
And just while we're walking in, Vera makes the brave choice to just cut her hand a little bit with her nail. I'm going to rouse again.
Yeah, resolve aspects.
Nice.
Very nice. Good rolls.
Let's go, premonition.
4 successes is great. And you could willpower 2 rerolls if you really
I feel
want
like this is really important. Life or death. We'll spend a willpower.
And you're just trying to look at like what is about to potentially happen.
Yeah, what could go down, what could go poorly. So I did get 5.
5 successes is a huge number. So we imagine this is happening as Vera's stepping through the threshold of the bank. As you're making your steps forward, and you can hear the kind of playful, almost taunting chatter of the Lupines as they invite you in. All of that slowly starts to sound like it's underwater. And as you step through the threshold of the bank and you look up, what you see is something you've seen before, as you've done this in your past numerous times. But as you step forward with Duke in front of you, you watch as Duke steps forward and fractures into 7 different Dukes, walking in varying, slightly different paths, each one seemingly following, and this is more of a testament to Duke's character than anything else, almost identical in the way they move. However, as you look at the others around you, the individual Lupine that walks in, you see as he does similar, fracturing into, we'll say, 10 or less different variations. One hops up on the nearby counter, laughs seemingly at something, but the words are not clear. They're still blended, muffled, deep underwater. Another one actually walks right over to the vault door and swings it open. Another one heads over to the corner and begins having a conversation before seemingly getting into an argument. And these play out all at the same time. But the one that's loudest, the one that rings truest, so long as things seem to go as planned, peace. But the longer Vera lets them play out, you watch as each one eventually seems to trigger to a fight. Each one triggered by something wildly different. Almost all an opportunity to end peacefully. But if things go on too long, something along the line seems to trigger combat. When you're done, it all each one snaps back like an elastic into an individual person with only one future playing out in front of you.
And I hear Max whisper that into my ear that he's been like made. And I whisper up to Duke, I've seen something. Keep it short, Duke. The longer we're here, the more we tempt fate. It will end in a fight.
Duke glances back, and in probably the most caring gesture, he puts a hand to her shoulder and says, just trust me.
She'll actually touch him and says, I always do. I'm just telling you what I saw.
As you make your way and you actually approach the vault door at this point, our camera quickly blurs back outside, where the individual, the girl kind of just does engage in some... Is Sean engaging in, like, conversation? Is he attempting to start conversation with her?
Yeah.
Okay, then as we come outside, we probably hear Sean's voice first.
Nice night for it.
Nice night for what?
Whatever this is.
A deal?
Yeah, a deal.
Won't you only have nights? When was the last time you've even seen the sun?
Oh, relatively recently.
She actually gives like a raised eyebrow as she reaches into her pocket and just pulls out just kind of a lone cigarette that's already been smoked. About a third of it's already been smoked. She pops it into her mouth and she just lights a lighter right in front of you. She doesn't do anything. Just watches you to see if you flinch or anything, but lights it up. It takes a drag and then actually wordlessly offers it to you. You could tell half jokingly, but also she wouldn't like pull it away from you if you did reach out for it.
Oh, go on then. And yeah, he grabs it and takes a drag.
She actually gives a nod of like she's entertained by that. And she reaches out. She's like, seems like some of you fine with it, some of you ain't. Weird. You're all fucking weird. You all fucking stink too. Anyone tell you that?
Well, I've made a habit of it. I smoke quite a lot.
She rolls her eyes. Obviously, you know what she's talking about, but you kind of just sidestep it. She doesn't engage in any conversation like from that, but does Sean continue?
Yeah, I think however long this lasts, Sean will be talking at her, even if she doesn't talk back.
And just kind of babbling?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of things about us. And I mean, I've not heard anything about you guys in particular. There's like, I hear you don't like gambling machines. Like, is that a thing?
What? And she just looks utterly baffled at you. The fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. I saw one chase a gambling machine off a boat once.
And yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's definitely intentionally being vague.
And she just like looks confused. She goes, "What's your name?"
Sean. What's yours?
Sean. And you see her actually take a couple of really deep breaths, and then after she does, she looks at you with a smile. She goes, "I'll remember that."
Do you have a name?
I do. You're not going to ask, are you? Because I'm not going to tell you.
I mean, I'm still going to ask. I mean, what's your name?
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, come on.
I know how you all work with your eyes and your mind games. Know my name and you may be able to control me from far away. Fuck that shit. Fuck you and fuck your kind. And the only reason I'm not killing you right now is in a fucking favor to my friend.
No, I appreciate that.
Where would you like to be, Robert? Do you walk in with them or do you stay outside? You said you eyed the car, so I imagine you stayed outside for a bit. And if you're outside, you hear this conversation going on.
Hearing all of this. Children, quiet.
Sorry, Dad.
We're not here for idle chatter or whether you want to tell us why you hate us. That's fine. Doesn't matter. Your name doesn't matter. You mean nothing. So just be quiet and let them do their business.
He put his teeth in wrong this evening.
Did you like just wake up from like 1700 or something? What the fuck is wrong with your voice?
I'm so glad you asked. Why do you sound like that?
Speak the proper English.
Oh, God.
Before it was mutilated and changed by your generation.
Oh,
it's not
God.
proper English.
Shut up, old
your
man.
Your talks and your face spaces.
What? Where'd you dig this fucking fossil up? Do you all just like run with somebody who's way too old?
Oh, God.
With
you don't
age
even know
comes
that.
power. You should remember that.
And grumpiness.
There's just a moment and you hear her mutter, "It's a deal. It's a favor. It's a favor. It's a favor." And she just tries to she takes a couple of deep breaths. And as she does, our vision kind of flies back under the bank door into the building itself. As you approach the vault and he reaches over to the vault and he wordlessly just kind of grabs it and swings it open. And as he does, what you see in there is a smaller, more portable vault that is locked. And he walks over to it and places his hand on top of it and pats it twice. She's in here, alive, obviously, otherwise she'd be. And he looks around where there was dust, but the dust has now been kind of blown away as you've opened and closed the door a few times.
So let's talk.
He actually hops up and sits his ass on top of the portable vault. One of the visions you saw.
It's clear that this city no longer belongs to the Camarilla. Your strength and your unity, it's undeniable. The Lupines have made their mark here, and well, even the kindred must respect that.
He shakes his head. See, that's the problem with you fucks. We're not here to own the city. We're here to make sure the humans have their freedom to live without you all controlling things from the back end and killing the world in the process, but that's a whole other shtick that I don't really care too much about.
There are some things that we can agree upon. But I'd like to reiterate that my goal here, my role is not of conquest. It's a simple assessment. Camarilla values efficiency, and my job is to determine whether we should invest resources here or step away, leaving the city entirely to its rightful claimants, yourselves and your people. Now, if we walk away alive, it sends a message here. The Lupines have no need to fear us, and a war is not needed. And in return, with my guidance, Camarilla can divert its focus elsewhere, leaving you unchallenged. The items that I've come to retrieve are of no consequence to you, but are critical to my mission, and in turn, your dominance. If I fail to report back, the Camarilla might misinterpret my silence. They'd see your strength as a challenge, not as a victory. And they may send significant reinforcements, and neither of us really want that. So let me take what I've come for, and I'll ensure that the Camarilla understands that the city is yours and your people's. Your strength is not to be contested. We can avoid unnecessary conflict, leaving you undisputed rulers of this domain. And I come with a simple secondary offering. This is tertiary to myself. In the past, I've noticed something curious, an intricate network of firearms trading from New York through Gary into Chicago. That's how I found this place. I assume it's part of your broader strategy. While it's impressive, such movements rarely go unnoticed for long. Camarilla excels at uncovering such trails. This is where I can be of use to you. I specialize in eliminating traces, ensuring prying eyes don't see what they're not meant to. Consider it a service that I can offer in exchange for our own personal desires and the items that I've come to retrieve. A clean slate for your operations and one less problem to worry about. Or, if you have someone missing, if you have a body, and you can't figure out who slain this individual, I can determine that. This is my offer. It's non-negotiable. Let's just pretend that we haggled and you won, and these are the terms that we have arrived at.
And you're not using any dominate abilities here. So you may make me a manipulation persuasion check.
Got it. I'd like to rouse.
Yeah, absolutely. Hunger 2, not too bad.
This is a big dice pool.
Yeah, I imagine.
I'll reroll.
Yep. Give me 3 more with a critical.
Yeah, 8 successes.
You watch as he chews on it. And there's a moment where you watch his confidence go from true to foe, where as you continue talking, he does realize that the things you're placing before him are, if accepted, difficult to deny. But there is a bit of concern that lingers on his face, and he does pipe up about it, but you see it coming before he even says a word. You know the concern before, you knew the concern would pop up prior to even having this conversation.
Please allow me to alleviate what stresses you.
The concern he would have, and again, I'd say Duke would probably piece this together before he even says the words, is there's no desire for them to be tied or under your thumb. To go through you to do all of this would still mean that he's doing it through you, and there's an element of control that no werewolf is going to be cool with. And that's his concern, is like, I do all this. How can you promise him that there will be no Duke oversight over everything from that point on?
I can force myself to tell the truth. With my abilities, and I'll forfeit all rights. If you don't believe me, this is simply more than just my word. I understand it is your people, it is yourself.
He seems to take that, and he just sits upright, but stays on top of the vault. You say you speak for your Camarilla government thing, right?
I do.
The shit goes south. Chicago finds itself in a war.
Kindred that are here today are not Camarilla representatives. Not myself, per se, but those that stay inside of Gary The ones that remain. They are not a part of our structure.
He nods. Oh, I understand that. I'm saying you are representative.
Indeed.
So if anything you say ends up being a tool used against myself or us, Chicago will find itself in a war with the Lupine. The last time that happened in Chicago didn't end up too well for the kindred.
Please, I'd like to exert something here. Chicago is, by and large, the most successful standing of the Camarilla this side of the United States. They will not compromise their position over petty squabbles. They like where they're at. They don't want bad blood simply because it doesn't fuel them. Besides, if they were to enact anything, it would be 100 years from now when you're dead.
He clears his throat and actually gives you a smile. And he just says, listen, all I'm saying is that it hinges on you. This sounds all one of those too good to be true deals.
I understand. I understand that it does. And this is why I wanted to present this as opposed to someone else. As I said, I'm not here for conquest. It doesn't serve either of us.
A tense silence lingers for no more than a couple of seconds, but it feels like a minute or two before he does spin on the actual vault on his ass, pops off behind it, places the bottom of his foot on it, and effortlessly, like you would with any sort of supernatural strength, slides the vault toward you. He points outside. She's got the code. Take it from her on your way out.
Now, how can I assist you further?
Hold your deal, and I'll reach out when I have something for you.
How will you reach out? Tell you what, why don't you provide me with some sort of phone?
Yeah,
that
no,
only
he
you
gives
can
you,
call.
he gives you the number to the only payphone in Gary, Indiana that works.
Vera quietly leans into Duke's ear and says just loud enough for him to hear.
You could always drop Maxwell's name. He was the one with the lupine heart, remember?
As a passing gift, there is a kindred still in the city. He was the former prince of Chicago. Had incredible standing. He wanted to lay siege to Chicago to reclaim his position. One of the reasons that we came here to the city was because we found out that he was dealing in lupine parts, particularly a heart.
You know what? Wits insight. Anybody who can see his face, wits insight.
We choose not to deal in these sort of things. It's nasty.
2, 3. Is that the only, is Max in there? Or I forget.
I am, so...
Yeah, you can make me wits insight too.
It's just wits for me.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so Vera, the only one with 3.
I'm rerolling.
Okay, and
So
an
I get
additional 3.
Okay.
So with 3, you see when you mentioned it deals with the lupine parts, and you mentioned the lupine heart, like a flicker of a rage that actually sends your beast into a moment of fear. Something preternatural that flickers across his eyes for less than a second, catches you off guard. It doesn't disrupt your speech or anything, but it sends a supernatural shock through you.
We've outstayed our welcome, Duke.
We wish to cleanse this issue. I imagine you will too.
And he just kind of gestures at the vault.
We'll grab the vault. Well, we'll move to start collecting.
As you pick up, I'm not going to make you roll for it. Your supernatural strength is enough. You pick up the vault, and it does, you can hear something in it.
Max will decloak and help and just like look at the lupine and go, yeah, you knew I was here anyway.
He does look to you. He doesn't nod or anything, but there's a look of like, yeah, of course I did. Max picks it up.
Probably
and,
brought the big vehicle this time for everybody, so what would be room in the back maybe for it?
Yeah, oh yeah, you pop open the back, you slide it in, and everybody kind of makes his way. Sean finishes his conversation with Robert out there, and you actually walk out and being like, why do you have to talk like that still? Like, I get you're from fucking forever ago, but like, you live in like the now.
The code.
He looks over. 12-4-31.
Max punches it in.
You can hear the click, but probably don't want to open that here.
Cool.
Because, yeah.
So you pop in the Escalade, and yeah, you walk out on her being like, you don't have to talk like that anymore. And Sean, what are you saying? Are you like on her side, or are you like...
I mean, Sean's definitely on her side. Every now and again, he's like, yeah, Vanessa's right. And he's trying to guess her name.
Yeah.
All right, come on, kid. We got what we came for. So long, everybody. See you around, Vanessa.
She just like gives like a shrug and walks off.
Your name is Vanessa now and forever to us.
She gives you, Sean, just the subtlest of like a nod, like, see you later, and leaves, but that's all you get out of her. You all pop into the Escalade, and head back? Then we'll end on the scene as you enter the hotel into the basement. Where do you plan on opening the vault in Vera's room?
Yeah,
think it
it's
makes
the
sense.
safest place.
Probably, yeah. I think just before that scene comes to the close, Duke looks to Vera. How did I do?
You did well. It's not that I didn't trust you, Duke. I didn't trust them.
The code is punched in. The lock, you hear chunk open. And as you swing open the door, you brace yourselves for what could be chaos, who knows. But instead, you're met with silence. As you see a horribly mauled, though alive, visionary. Her legs have been torn off. Her right arm down to her elbow ripped. Her throat torn open, and her other arm cleanly ripped off. Though the healing has already begun, you can see the flesh and sinew having already been rebuilding, as she slowly will have to heal over a couple of nights.
Robert, call the front desk. Tell them to prep a room for long-term stay.
Robert probably just kind of nods and walks off. And as you say that, Vera, that last line, we as the listeners get a close-up shot of just the vault door open, or we cut to black. And we'll be back with the finale next week. Goodbye, everybody.